All right, so we're going to have a conversation right now. This is Captain Unusual and the Deviant Historian, and we got the idea to talk about streaming versus physical media.
And I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, with the DVD here, even though this one's scratched to hell and it's basically been terminated, because it's a Terminator 2 disc, you still own it. You still own the DVD. You can still control it. It's not dependent on software updates or licensing agreements. This is your tangible DVD. You can feel it. You can do whatever. You can see the shiny reflection here.
Yeah, can you see the camera in that thing? No, but and another thing, DVDs are pretty much going to last. Not DVDs themselves, but DVD players. Those are always going to be around.
Yeah.
Because, like a VCR is a perfect storm of fragile moving parts. Like, it's so easy for a VCR to break. Every time you put a tape in, and I love tape. I love VHS technology. But the fact remains, when you put a VHS tape in a VCR and it plays, you should thank the Lord every single time.
You gotta do like a Hail Mary comes with a rosary now.
Yeah.
You know what was kind of, that made me think, VCRs tapes nobody cares about anymore. Because I mean, I went to a garage sale and I remember I got you remember those 3 huge boxes of VCR tapes?
Yeah.
And these people were acting like it's Christmas and I'm taking it off their hands. They're like, oh, praise the Lord, we don't have to throw them in the trash,
You can buy them at Goodwill at this point for about $0.25 each.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can buy a DVD for $1.
Yeah. So they are still worth something, but they're definitely, and VHS technology gets kind of a bad rap because it was really good technology. Now, Beta was better, and Beta probably should have won out instead. But the basic technology is good. I mean, hell, I have VHS tapes that are pushing 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
They still work if you can find a VCR and put them in. But DVD players, the benefit of them is they still have moving parts, but they're a lot more straightforward.
Yeah.
You have the laser, you have the drive. It's pretty much all you need. Now, every once in a while, you might have to clean the lens, but even that, if it's built right, if it's not one of those stupid top loader ones or like one that's, if it's well built, I don't think I've ever even needed to do that.
Yeah, I have a really nice Sony I bought for probably $50 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's given me no trouble at all. It just works, never needs a firmware update. The Wi-Fi, I don't need that, because a lot of people are like, oh, I got a Blu-ray player. Well, I can do Netflix, and I can do this and that, and it does all these cool things. Well, then it hits an update, and then all of a sudden your shit's not supported.
And I do like Blu-ray players, and the reason for that is they tend to, if you have a DVD that's in bad shape, if it's a little bit scratched up, it'll play those better. It can play DVDs as well as Blu-rays, most of them. I mean, maybe there are some Blu-rays that are purely that they're not backward compatible, but I think most Blu-rays are backward compatible. I would not buy Blu-rays themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I would just buy a DVD. But the good thing about a Blu-ray player is that it's basically like a souped-up DVD player that'll play those discs better. So I do think, I mean, people get annoyed when I say this, but I have a PS3, and I pretty much only use it as a Blu-ray player. Gamers hate it when I say that because it sounds really obnoxious. It's like because they I don't know, for some reason it just rubs them the wrong way when you say that to them.
I mean, I think Sony, and especially I have a PS2. That's the fanciest piece of technology I got for gaming, and I think they make the best hardware and they have some really good games on it. So you got an even more sophisticated, fancy piece of equipment. You're like, yeah, it's like my DVD player. I just dust it off here and there.
And I do play games on it sometimes, but I'm just not much of a gamer.
Yeah.
And when I do play games, they tend to be retro games.
Yeah.
Because I'm not so much into the graphics. I'm more into like the
narrative and the gameplay.
The gameplay, yeah. And it's like a game doesn't have to be very complicated to be addictive. I mean, just look at Tetris.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about streaming services.
Okay.
Let's talk about the benefits, but probably mostly the potential problems and dangers for the consumer of entertainment.
Sure. So there's certain services and such that I've used, and I just know, what's the Buddhist saying? You're in a burning house.
Life is a burning house.
Life is a burning house. That's how it is with a streaming service. Enjoy it while you got it, but that it's going to burn down, and that content's going to vanish.
Well, you take Vudu for example. I've bought old discs that still have the code in them, and I try to enter in the code, and they say, this code is expired, so I can't download the digital version because after a couple of years or sometimes even a few months, like you buy a DVD on clearance at Walmart, it still has that code in it. Code won't work. And who's to say that, if you have a Vudu account with all of these, with all of these movies saved on it, that one day Vudu is going to say, yeah, your account is expired, or these movies you only have access to them for a certain number of years.
Or there's an account maintenance fee and a reviewing activation fee, or they can come up with all kinds of shit because you're beholden to your corporate overlords.
And even if you can download it onto your actual computer, there might be something written in the code itself that makes itself delete or something. I'm not sure if that's a thing.
No, I could believe it.
I mean, it's definitely something. If it's not being done now, it could happen. It could happen at some point in the future. If you follow the logic to it, if you follow things to their logical conclusion, where it's like, we're not going to let you keep any of this stuff indefinitely. I mean, I see that happening, and then you take something like Netflix, which we were just looking at on the screen there. The problem with that is none of their original content is any good.
Yeah,
it's not. It's just not. They're not.
I like The Irishman. But that wasn't. There's gems and piles of shit.
That was Scorsese. That wasn't even. And then El Camino was good too. But are those really Netflix originals, or are those just movies that were going to come out anyway, but they decided to take credit for
They just bankrolled it.
Yeah, I mean, like true Netflix originals, I would say, are things like Orange is the New Black.
Or let's give some asshole a camera and have him upload it. And you pay him like $5,000.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, it's a Netflix original. What's it called? Johnny's taking his shit. And what is it? Well, Johnny chronicles all the shits he takes over the last 30 days. Wow, this is a masterpiece in cinema.
Yeah.
You can hear the flush and... Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, but some of it is fucking close, the kind of caliber and content that they broadcast on there.
Yeah. And then, I remember a few years ago, Netflix was really banging. Like, you could type in just about anything and they had it.
Yeah.
But now that it's kind of divide and conquer, there are all of these other streaming services popping up. Like Disney's getting one, DC, DC Comics, there's probably going to be, it's like, everything's all split up.
Yeah.
Like
it's a fractured market, and it's all these fees for this or that, or
Hulu's another one. Like you type something into Netflix, there's an 80% chance now that it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Whereas like a few years ago, it was almost definitely going to be there.
I think a lot of the corporations didn't realize the value of their digital content. They're just like, we'll pay money. They can watch these reruns at Netflix. Who gives a shit? And then when they saw how much bank Netflix was making off that, they're like, we want our cut of this.
It's funny when Netflix transitioned from a DVD mailing service to an actual online streaming service. Everybody was like, "Oh right, yeah, now I can fuck cable. I can cancel my cable now."
Yeah.
But now they're gonna have to pay through the nose for half a dozen different streaming services, paying $10 a month for each one. They're gonna end up paying more than they ever paid for cable.
Yeah. But that's also assuming people give a shit about it. Because, for me, my DVDs and my antenna cut it for the most part. I have an Amazon Prime account, but that's just because I got a student discount when I took a continuing ed class a year or two ago.
Well, here's the great thing about DVDs. Another great thing. Now, you do have to take good care of them because they do scratch easily and stuff, But as long as you take really good care of them, keep them in the cases and everything, they'll pretty much last the rest of your life. I mean, how many times are you going to watch a single disc? Probably at most maybe a dozen times in your life, unless it's a movie that you're just obsessed with.
Yeah.
But you can go online. Well, you can go to Walmart and get a movie that just came out a few months ago. You can get it on disc for $5 or less.
Yeah.
And then if you go online, like to eBay, or I would not recommend Amazon, but if you go to like eBay and you just go like lowest to highest price, you could find a copy of it being sold somewhere, probably out of China, for like a couple of bucks with free shipping. And when you add all of that up, I mean, I just did a physical media haul last night because a certain sale was going on, and a sale that I'm not going to mention the name of.
Sure.
But
did it have to do with a color in a day?
That's the popular opinion, yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't get there until after midnight, so technically it was I don't know, Savings Saturday. but yeah, I got a bunch of movies, and they averaged about $2 each.
Wow, these were brand new.
These were brand new, completely wrapped up, everything.
What store?
Walmart.
Wow.
And a lot of them were in collections too, which made them even cheaper.
Wow.
And I was like, this is fucking baller. I mean, especially, I mean, I'm going to be watching. There are more movies just in that pile than I'm going to watch in Netflix probably in the next year.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get more entertainment out of that pile of discs than I'm going to get from Netflix in the next year or maybe even 2 years.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be for a lot less money.
Well, I like DVDs and the fact that you own it, but also the additional features and commentary. If I really like something, a lot of times I'll watch the director's commentary.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love director's commentaries. That's something that I've kind of worried about, like that maybe those will kind of go by the wayside now that fewer people are buying discs.
Yeah, stream. They have no incentive to do any of that. You just want to watch your video, and hey, it's going to auto stream because you fell asleep to like 6 other movies, and
yeah,
and then you're going to wake up and be like, what the hell am I watching? All of a sudden, you're watching like My Little Pony, and you're watching like some mob action movie to begin with. You fall asleep through that, and then all of a sudden you're like, how the hell did this end up there?
Oh yeah, like if you keep YouTube going all night.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot for me. I'll just fall asleep and I'll watch like CNBC, some market finance thing, and then next thing I know, I'm asleep, and then I'm in the middle of like a 3-hour recap of some financial topic, and I'm like, oh.
Or you're watching the Happy Little Elves or something.
Some crazy thing. It's just like, huh. But yeah, I like DVD commentary. I like the boxes. I mean, when you get a DVD box, that's really kind of a piece of art. Just all the work that goes into it. Like you were saying, that your Simpsons collection and
yeah, it's kind of the same reason why people like record albums and CD albums is because they themselves have a cover and they have sometimes the lyrics and things like that. Like it's just something that you can hold in your hands, and it does feel like a piece of art. As opposed to Now, for the most part, I do prefer downloading music digitally.
Yeah.
But it has to be downloaded into an MP3 player, and it's going to be mine forever. It can't just be like, iTunes account or something like that. It has to be something that's actually on my hardware, and it's in there, and it's mine, and it's never going away. Yeah, I just don't want to be beholden to anybody.
Yeah, because I have some iTunes stuff, and I have a lot of Google Play stuff, and I don't know. It's a hodgepodge of DVDs or CDs that I burned in, and some stuff I bought, paid $1 here or there for, because I got a lot of random crap that's music but it kind of pisses me off too, because on the Android stuff, you can't listen to the fucking iTunes music. So you're locked out. It's like these walled gardens of proprietary bullshit.
Yep.
So then it's like, what the fuck? Because I mean, there's certain musicians that I like that were pretty abstract that I'm never going to be able to buy their CD. It's just not a reality, because where the fuck are you going to buy a CD to begin with?
Yeah, online would be your best shot.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I like 1 or 2 songs, so I'll give them $1. And about 10 years ago or so, I only had an old iPhone, and I just had iTunes. So that's where I bought like probably $100 worth of random ass music.
Yeah.
And now none of that shit. I only have Androids. I am going to get an iPad. I bought my mother a new one for Christmas. I'm going to fix up her old one and probably just play iTunes on that, I guess. But see, that's kind of bullshit that I can only get it on this one certain device that has the magic key. And fuck Disney. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. I think I second that. Do you still remember the password?
What?
for your iTunes.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you get that iPad, you'll be able to log right in.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna reset her iPad. I actually won the iPad about like 5 or 6 years ago in a charity auction. And then she uses it a lot because she's not that mobile and doesn't do a lot of things, and was upset about how shitty and slow it had gotten because she beat it to hell, and it's older, and they deliberately make it get shitty as it ages. So I bought her a new one for the holidays, and I'll get that one in.
Yeah. Now I will say, full disclosure, I actually have free Netflix, or at least it's maybe not free, but it's included in my phone plan. So that's nice. It's nice to have that. It's nice if I just happen to be. I don't really do it on my phone.
Well, does it count against your streaming? Do you know?
No.
Oh wow! So it's like a zero rated data thing, so you can fucking stream Netflix as much as your heart's content.
Theoretically, yeah. Theoretically, I could watch Netflix as much as I want.
It's not going to get throttled, and it's not going to. Wow.
Yeah. So, although, I mean, I'm sure at some point there is some kind of data cap.
Yeah.
But I've never hit it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty judicious about it, about how much I use. I try not to overdo it. If there's Wi-Fi nearby, I always connect to it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you and I are pretty much on the same page. We both tend to prefer the physical media. I would say, like, it's kind of like when people say, you know, so this place, it's a nice place to visit, but you don't want to live there.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about about Netflix. Netflix and other streaming services, they're a nice place to visit, but it's nice to go home and like just bask in your piles and piles of DVDs.
The two additional services that I'd plug, one is Pluto Television, and that's basically, I enjoy watching it because it reminds me of crappy cable I had growing up. It's just reruns of kind of garbage, and you can fall asleep to it.
Well, I like it because it's a lot of stuff from the '90s.
Yeah,
and I love that stuff.
It's a lot of good reruns, and there's like 500 channels, and there's no monthly cost, so I can live with that. I don't mind if I'm streaming content if you're not going to take money out of me, and then expect me to, you know what I mean, pay fees. If it's free and I'll see some ads, I can live with that. I like YouTube too, so I'm going to put those are my two caveats for streaming services that I have, I think higher up, even than Netflix in a lot of ways.
I would still say don't pay for movies on YouTube.
No, I never have.
Because if you know, if you're going to pay for a movie, you might as well own it, you know.
Yeah, because
instead of paying per view. Yeah. But another thing I'll say, something people raise up with physical media is the space that it takes up, and a lot of people have sort of a minimalist attitude when it comes to like things like that. What I would say is, if you get those albums, you know, those albums with the sleeves, that really cuts down on the storage space.
Yeah.
You could store hundreds and hundreds of discs really on just a single shelf if you have those things. So I would not really agree with that argument because honestly, you know, if you store them correctly, they don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, and I'm not a minimalist. I'm a hoarder, so.
Yeah. I'm what I call a reductionist. You know, like I don't have a minimum. Like I have kind of a collector's mentality too, but because I live in a small house or a small dwelling, I'm kind of forced to not. I can't just keep getting new stuff until you know. I mean, indefinitely. I have to make choices about what I'm going to keep and what I'm not. But I don't, you know, I'm not like one of those people with a completely empty studio apartment with like just an iPhone and a cot and that's it. Like,
I can see that. I'm a minimalist. I have like 3 things: my iPhone, my cot, and my pillow. It's a my pillow, and
it vibrates.
And then when I shit, I just wipe with my hand, and I just use some water and wash it off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe in soap though. I'm a minimalist. Because some of those guys are not, I'm over-exaggerating it a bit, but there's definitely guys on YouTube like that.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, I just live out of my little backpack.
Yeah. Yeah, and really they're just doing it for views.
Like 13 items that I own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I would say, I'm just kind of in the middle. I would say reductionist is a good, because like I try to keep my possessions under strict control, but I don't have it's not minimal.
Yeah.
I definitely have lots of stuff that I don't need, It's just,
And I like the ideas and ideals of both of those philosophies, but I'm not going to be delusional for me.
well, partly because you have quite a bit of
I
space
have about
right now.
1,500 square feet of shit I
Now,
can jam.
now, say 20 years from now,
Yeah.
there might a conversation might need to be had.
Well, even at my work cubicle, they're always bitching. I moved 1 year. I moved after 1 year, and I accumulated more shit than most people who've been there 20 years.
Yeah.
In my one spot, I just
Well,
tend to be a man. It's like, oh, this is free. Oh, this looks cool, and then.
well, I mean, hey, you've only lived here like about a year,
Yeah.
and this looks like a completely furnished house. I mean, this looks like it looks like somebody's been living here for some time.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of bookshelves. I got, like, my DVD collection. You can do a whole video of just this one portion of my DVD collection. And
So I do definitely support your plan to kind of get rid of some stuff, particularly paper,
yeah,
like stuff that like paper that's not needed. If you come across any interesting paper, bring it this way because I might be able to make origami out of it.
oh,
Yeah.
okay,
And then if you come across anything else, I mean, I really dig this poster.
yeah, I
But,
think it's pretty cool. You got a Simpsons poster talking about media here. I had a Simpsons one, and
Yeah.
I just have enough crap on my walls that I'm like, this dude's like a hardcore Simpsons fan of like the old school original Simpsons shit, not the cash flowing bullshit that they're running now.
Yeah, pretty much like nothing post 2003 or 2004. But yeah, I think we've covered just about everything. Because this is starting to degenerate into a beverage rant.
Just yelling
Because we're
about
just talking about
shit,
random stuff. But
storage potential.
yeah, and like different things that in our own lives.
But also the streaming, it's dependent on data, it's dependent on your connection and your quality, all that. You pop a DVD and all you got to make sure is you got a TV that has power, a DVD player that has power, and the thing's cleaned off enough and it should run. You know, the streaming, oh, I'm sorry, there's too much congestion on your network. And everybody's like, but to me it fascinates me with streaming because it killed the formats. You know, basically a Blu-ray DVD, nothing else came after that, really. You know, yeah, you got 4K, whatever, but a lot of that's all streaming based, and the standards really haven't been worked out much.
yeah, I remember back when I was working at a certain bookstore chain. That was during the war between. It sounds so dramatic to say it that way.
The war
But it was between the people and the machines.
That dominated the HD DVD.
It was between the HD and the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray won. It terminated the. I can't do it. I don't know how Arnold does it.
Terminated the HD DVD.
Yeah.
But
And I remember the HDs were in a red case, and the Blu-rays were in a blue. And it didn't take very long for there to be like a whole shelf of Blu-rays, and then just one row of the HDs.
you probably sell a VHS tape quicker than you could an HD DVD.
Probably so.
Because I think a lot of people just thought it was like DVD on steroids.
Yeah.
And then the studios and a lot of people couldn't get behind it where they're like, oh, it has a shiny blue light and it's Blu-ray? That sounds cool. It's like, beam me up, Scotty.
I watched an interesting video about Disney and how, because Disney owns everything now, that you remember the Disney Vault.
Yeah.
They're going to apply that strategy to everything they own, all of the IPs, all of the franchises that they own.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to apply that, and Disney has started getting really proprietary about like allowing theaters to show older movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like they used to be able to show, like, say, Indiana Jones annually, and it was like an annual party at the theater to get business and to sort of just a fun family night.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Disney or whoever owns the movie is like, oh, you can't do that anymore. You can't do that. Or the price is like way too high to be able to practically do it.
Yeah.
And
Like, you want this to come out of our vault? They're like, it's going to cost you $1,000 per person.
yeah.
You know?
There's also some evidence that whenever they reboot an old movie, they try to do what they can to make the old movie less available,
Yeah.
so that people don't just watch the old movie, that they're forced to go see the new movie, which isn't as good, and that's why they wanted to watch the old movie, was because they knew the new movie wouldn't be as good. So
So it's like some Orwellian bullshit, corporate bullshit on content.
It's extremely Orwellian, yeah. And then, like, you know, a lot of Star Wars fans complain about how it's very hard to watch the original Star Wars the way it was in the 70s. You know, like, because there have been so many remastered versions.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we've got to add Jabba the Hutt in this scene, you know, or we have to, like, clean this up so that it looks different. But a lot of people like the old version best.
There's a movie, Full Metal Jacket, and that one's done by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But at the end of it there, they say they're singing the Mickey Mouse song when they're walking through this torched hellhole and all that. So I'm really hoping they don't get, that Disney doesn't end up owning Full Metal Jacket, because you know they'd edit the hell out of that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be singing Mickey Mouse. They'd probably be singing, who the hell would they sing about? The Three Stooges. I don't know. You know, something that's not Disney intellectual property.
Yeah, they'd have to go back into something that's in the public domain or something.
Yeah, but then it totally distorts.
Can't ladies sing this song, doo-dah, doo-dah.
And they're like, this is totally what 1950s boys would have been singing about when they're in a hellhole. But I mean, to me, I really like the imagery of it, and that's the closing shot. That's all dark, fire, hellhole, and they're all singing a kid's Mickey Mouse, M-I-C-K, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And it's realistic, because that's what the kind of shit they would have done.
To cheer themselves up. But then that's not really an image you think of as a wholesome family Disney corporate image.
Well, going back to Star Wars, they wanted to get rid of the scenes where Leia's in a bikini.
And that,
because they thought that it was like sexist or something.
Mm.
Like Jabba, you know, put her in a bikini. They didn't want that. And even Carrie Fisher was against that, against having it taken out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, hey, I looked great back then. I wish I looked like that now.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, you can't blame her for not wanting it taken out. I mean, that was some of her best work, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
So.
Well, I think, yeah, we covered a lot of stuff here, and this is good, and hopefully this will be your highest ranked video. And
yeah, everybody, you know, if you like the video, subscribe.
Like it, subscribe.
And comment. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
We don't really care, but tell us. No, I'm trying to remember to do that stuff, because that's kind of YouTube 101 is like,
smash that like button.
Smash the like button, bang the bell, and comment. That's called a call to action. You know, you have to do a call to action, because the more comments a video gets, the more visibility it gets. So whenever you hear a YouTuber say, now I want to hear from you, they don't want to hear from you. They just want you to comment so that their video gets more visibility, you know. So I really don't like to do that shit, but I'm doing it kind of sarcastically right now. So.
Well, then you can re-edit the beginning of this and just add that in. Smash that like button, guys.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we're closing in on 30 minutes here.
Wow.
So I'll be able to call this a mini documentary.
Awesome.
Although that's another thing that pisses people off. It's like, it was just a disc and a Roku remote for 30 minutes.
And these two guys were just yelling about random shit that was incoherent. And...
That is not a documentary.
Well, that was Reddit. Those guys were assholes.
I'm going to dislike all of your videos. Like, that's when you know somebody has no life. When they spend, like, their whole evening just going through all your videos and disliking them for, like 100 of them or however many it was.
No comment.
What? Was it you?
No, not for that. There were some mutual people that we knew that needed to have a message sent.
Okay, well, yeah, but that was a little. I mean, that was only like 5 or 6 videos.
Yeah, but there was multiple accounts involved, and it was
right.
Yeah, but anyhow, we can edit that out, and y'all hit that like button, guys.
Yep.